Imagine with me, if you could, just for a second, if you could picture a scenario where someone was defending a former sex worker turned Kotaku journalist, Alyssa Mercante, because they felt like she was in the right. That's exactly what transpired here with Jake Steinberg on Twitter. And holy crap, it is so beyond cringe that I have to cover it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And I saw this on Twitter the other day and my jaw dropped. Jake Steinberg, former Disgraced writer for GameXplain, who parted ways with them, and I covered that in a previous video. And honestly, I wanted to defend him. I wanted to give him a second chance because maybe it was GameXplain that was the problem. Clearly, it wasn't. And this situation exposes a hell of a lot more about what's going on with Jake Steinberg and how he wants a job at Kotaku. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the hysterical breakdown of this ridiculous Twitter scenario. Jake Steinberg, a former writer for GameXplain, turned independent YouTuber because it just didn't work out at GameXplain. And like I said at the open, I wanted to give him a chance because I felt like maybe with the history of GameXplain that it wasn't his fault that things turned sour. After seeing this, it's clear as day to me why GameXplain wanted nothing to do with the guy. Stuttering Craig, best known for starting ScrewAttack.com, someone who makes videos and does live streams. I see Melanie Mack in there with him once in a while now, talking about game situations, and I agree with them once in a while. I disagree with them once in a while. Hell, I've even made a video about how ridiculous one of the scenarios with trying to start his own game awards was and how it came off as a grift to people, and it was really weird. I'm not saying that anyone is above being criticized, even myself. I think everyone should be criticized if they're going to be out there on social media, just to keep them grounded. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And on Twitter, Stuttering Craig said, if there was a picture to describe what's wrong with video game journalism, this would be it. And he posts a picture of Alyssa Mercante. Now, here's the thing. If you read that tweet just straight up verbatim for what it is, it doesn't really say anything too detrimental to anyone. Everyone knows that Alyssa Mercante is twisting the narrative to a scenario that happened recently with farm folks and how she had an agenda in mind and she didn't give a damn what the CEO of the game wanted. She didn't care about the optics of it. She just wanted her narrative to be injected into the story. It's like she doesn't even care about journalism because she's an activist. But don't let me digress on the situation here. All this tweet said, it's a very innocent tweet just pointing out a fact of, yes, being an activist instead of a journalist is exactly what's wrong with video game journalism today. I don't see an issue with any of that. But guess who did take issue with that? Jake Steinberg, who said, genuinely impossible for me to understand how big of a loser one must be to see this tweet and think, oh yeah, vaguely described hatred directed at a woman. This guy has the right idea. So glad he's talking about what really matters. I don't even know where to start with how disgustingly horrific that take is, but I'm gonna do my best. First off, Stuttering Craig said nothing about what she looks like. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. Hysterically, that's the first bias that comes in implied by Jake here, thinking that that's what Craig is talking about because in his own sick, twisted mind, that's what he's thinking about, not other people, which kind of exposes Jake for being a simp for Alyssa Mercante. But why would someone do that, would you say? Why would you simp for someone who is the most embarrassing journalist, if you will, activist for Kotaku? Why would you simp for someone like that? Well, if you're Jake Steinberg and you've recently been let go from GameXplain and your YouTube career is completely failing and you're floundering around looking for work and you're hoping to grasp onto anything, why not simp for someone who is the senior editor at Kotaku, get in their good graces, and then say, hey, Alyssa, it's me, Jake. Remember I was that guy that was defending you like the knight I am in shining armor on Twitter because you're not the wrong one here. Everyone else is, and I'm defending you. This is exactly what's wrong with journalism and video games today. It's so incestuous. These types of people stand up for each other to promote each other to keep the fraud going. Nowhere in Craig's statement does he reference Alyssa's looks. Specifically, if anything, Jake's tweet exposes him for what he's focusing on, not the other way around. And hysterically, I looked into Jake a little bit further and I saw in his Twitter bio, he is a self-proclaimed comedian. Which is like, honestly, not even joking, that is the funniest thing about all of this. He doesn't know how to take a joke, and he calls himself a comedian. The community wasn't having it, as Super Turnip put it so eloquently. I mean, she just got busted twisting a developer's words for a story in broad daylight by that same dev. He's not exactly wrong. Which is true. That's exactly what happened. And if you've been watching the channel, you would have seen that I covered this in great detail, exposing what a fraud Alyssa Mercante is, what a hack journalist she is. And it doesn't matter to people like Jake Steinberg what the truth is. No, he wants to simp for Alyssa to make sure he's in her good graces. That is not what happened, LOL. I mean, the only way you could say that's not what happened is if you were not paying attention whatsoever, have not done any research, have not seen anything, have not read anything, have not watched anything, and just thought, I like her, and she's innocent because she works at Kotaku. Like, literally, that is the only way you can look at this situation. So, if anything, it exposes Jake for being a fraud himself. To which I replied, that is, in fact, exactly what happened. Somehow, you see this tweet about how she looks more than the actual truth of why he tweeted it and how she is a problem says more about you than anything. It's a terrible look. Go down with her. And then I made another tweet on my personal Twitter talking about the situation. Wanted to give this Jake dude a chance after the whole GameXplain situation went down, but his mask slipped and now everyone sees him. Bye, bro. That's what happened here. Like, straight up, Jake had the opportunity to make a name for himself, to step apart from the competition and say, no, it was GameXplain that was the problem. I'm going to prove to everyone why I'm really good at this. And what's he do? The first chance he gets, trips and falls flat on his face. He was getting ratioed so bad that he turned off comment replies, except for only accounts that follow or mention him. Meaning that he didn't take the tweet down. He didn't accept the L. He didn't reply and apologize to people about not knowing the situation fully. No, he is standing by his decision of making that tweet and, in fact, doubling down on it by turning off Twitter replies. But people can still heart the comments. And holy crap, I have not seen a ratio this bad for a long time. His tweet where he said, that's not what happened, LOL, had 7 likes. Whereas at this point right now, mine is right around 350. Meaning that his 7 likes compared to my 350 should tell him that he doesn't have the story right. Everyone else sees it for what it is, except him. And he has to have an ulterior motive in mind. Otherwise, there is no reason to be taking this stance. Which is why I keep going back to my personal feelings of it is, he's desperate for a job, and he's doing anything he can to cling on to anyone in the gaming journalism industry so that he can find a way back into it professionally and by any means possible. And that includes simping for Alyssa Mercante. Holy crap, dude. There's not a worse look you could have right now. He's not taking any accountability for his actions. He's blocking any more comment replies and leaving his tweet up there. For Steinberg, someone who was formerly associated with GameXplain and is now independent, these interactions that he's had on Twitter are not just fleeting exchanges, but they have serious implications for his professional image. And I don't know if he doesn't know that or he doesn't care. I can't tell. But either way, this exposes him for the fraud that he's always been. There's no coming back from this. Like, sorry. Short of full mea culpa, taking the tweet down, telling everyone you were completely wrong because of whatever reason it was that you were doing it, and being honest and transparent. Telling people, hey, I'm desperate for work. I needed Kotaku to hire me. I do anything for a job, guys. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at my wit's end. I had to do that. Like, short of something like that, there is no coming back from this. And based how he's handled it so far, I'm not going to be holding my breath that that's going to be taking place. So, yeah, Jake, I guess you're going to continue to keep floundering in the failure of independent journalism because you can't face the facts and instead want to latch onto a liar, a twisted narrative person like Alyssa Mercante, instead of searching for the truth in games journalism. I'm going to leave it there. If you want more information, like I said, check out SmashJT.com for the full article, breakdown, links, tweets, and screenshots, because who knows? Maybe he will delete this stuff in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Some people like to self-identify themselves as indie game appreciators, as if to position themselves above others.
Smash,